Hi there, and welcome to this tour of Background Magic version 3. Background Magic is really 3 programs in one. It's Background Magic, Border Magic, and Button Magic. And we'll take a look at all 3, but first let's go through how the program actually works. And the way it works is it takes pre-made seamless tiles, and it comes with 200 of them, plus you can import your own. And you put one in this window, one in this window, and it blends those 2 backgrounds together to make a unique background over here in the final image window. Let's take a look at that. Let's choose this one and this one, and you can see the 2 different backgrounds and how they make one unique background. And you can preview that on your desktop by clicking the preview button, and anytime you want to return to the program, just click anywhere and you'll come right straight back to the program. You can also apply special effects, and you can apply those effects to any one of these windows. Whichever one you click, you'll see it text gets dark above it, bolded, and it gets a darker border around the edge. Whichever one of those you click or highlight is the one that will have the effects applied to it. So let's say you wanted to make this one different. Say it was too light for you. You can adjust brightness and colors here, saturation, gamma, contrast, brightness, and the red, green, and blue channels. Or you could do something simple and just invert the color. That will give you the opposite color, and as you can see it gets pretty dark, which affects the final image. And if you want to preview that, just click it and click back out of it. And you keep making adjustments or trying different backgrounds until you come up with something you like. And seriously, you'll come up with so many things you like that you'll have a hard time choosing which one you want to use. And here I've blended 2 different kind of backgrounds together so I can show you a couple other things. First, I'm going to invert this and sharpen it. And as you can see, that makes a pretty neat looking background, but you might think, yes, but it's awful busy, you can't put text on that. And that's true, but that kind of background's not meant to have text on it. It's meant to be used more like this, where you have all your content on a solid color and then you've got just the background around the edges. And it makes a pretty nice looking background that way. Might not be your taste, this particular style, but there are plenty of others that I'm sure you'll come up with that you do like. And then I wanted to show you the pattern effect. If you click the pattern button, you can see it makes a nice symmetrical pattern, and you can make symmetrical patterns that are very subtle to not so subtle. And it's just one more tool in your background making arsenal there that will give you a lot of options and a lot of different looks. Okay, let's take a look at Border Magic next. As you can see, I've already blended a fairly intricate background. I think that looks kind of neat. And to open Border Magic, just click the Border Magic icon, and that'll open right up. And the first thing you probably want to do is adjust the width of the border area. Use a slider for that, and it goes in pretty good chunks. So just get it close to where you want. You can click and hold in the track and it'll scroll at a fairly controllable rate. And when you're close, then you can just click once to adjust 1 pixel at a time for your fine tuning. And when you get it where you want, then you can add a shadow if you like. And as you can see, it goes pretty big. Usually a smaller shadow looks better. You can adjust the opacity of the shadow, which is just how light or dark it is. And if you want a different color out here in the main area where your content will be, you can pick a color from the image with the color picker, or you can pick a color from the palette here, and you can choose basic colors here, or you can click the Define Custom Colors button and pick any color you want. We'll just take a lighter one for now, like that. And that's pretty much how you do that. This Use Tile button, what that does is, doesn't look like it does anything there, but when you adjust the opacity slider, you can see it brings the blend that you've made, the background you've made, over here onto the right side, and allow you to use a lightened version of that tile in the main content area. And whatever color you picked when you were fiddling with these colors will affect the color, the tint of that tile over there. So if you chose white, you get a really lightened version. If you choose a different color, you can choose any color you want, and that'll affect it like that. You choose black and you'll get a nice darkened version. And anytime you want to see what that would look like tiled, just click the preview button You can see it tiled across your screen. All the icons on your screen will disappear. Just click anywhere to return to the program. If you find what you like, click the Save button. And lo and behold, you can save that background. And let's take a look at Button Magic now. Click the Button Magic icon to open that program. And on the first tab, you adjust the width and height of the button. Top slider adjusts the width. Bottom slider adjusts the height. Once you get that, you can add a bevel if you want. As you can see, the bevel starts off black and white. That makes it easier to see how wide the bevel is. Once you set the width like you like, then you can adjust the shading downward. And that'll let some of the background come through. And once you've done that, click the Adjust Text tab. And before you add any text, I would suggest saving a blank button. That way, if you need a button later on, say you forgot to make one or you add a new site section or something, you can just import the blank button and make a new button that way. You don't have to try and recreate the background and make it match. So once you save the blank button, you just type your text into that box and it'll show up right there in the button so you can see what it looks like. You can adjust the horizontal centering here, and if you right click the button, you can adjust the vertical centering there. You can adjust the font size. Let's make that a little bigger. You can adjust the font family. Any font that you have installed in your computer you can use on your buttons. So for now, let's take Jolly. Sounds jolly good. And you can also adjust the font style, which is bold, italic, and underlined. You can use any or all of them. And if you want to have a shadow, then you can add the shadow now. Sometimes with a shadow, if it's black text and a dark shadow, it just kind of makes it blurry. It doesn't really look like a shadow. You can either change the shadow color here, use a little lighter color, or you can change the text color. You can see the shadow. And this little circle here, that determines which way the shadow is offset. Whichever way that arrow is, or that line is pointing, will be the direction the shadow is offset. And then something else that's kind of nifty. You go back to black text here. If you change the shadow color to white, it kind of looks like the text is etched into the button rather than being on the button casting a shadow. Sometimes that white might be a little bit too bright. You can just choose a little shade of gray there and that'll take the brightness edge off of it. And that's about it for Button Magic. You can import buttons and there'll be button sets available. You can also make solid colored buttons, which you can learn about on the video tutorials page, along with a lot of other things regarding the program. And there'll also be extra button packs available. And I hope you'll download the free trial and give it a try. A lot of people like it and a lot of people love it. And many people have told me it's addicting, and I happen to agree with them. So thanks for watching the video tour. Give it a shot. See what you think.